Hello and welcome to the ThunderWizard.com career consultation video series training. So this is a twofold video series. This video series is for people who really want to figure out how to find their success, their perfect career that will bring them happiness, prosperity, financial success, personal fulfillment, self-respect, and it is also a video series for people who themselves want to become a career counselor. You know, this to me is what I think a life coach is. This is just my definition of a life coach. I think a life coach is somebody who should help people find within themselves what their true career is, what their true purpose in the world is that will bring them financial success, prosperity, self-respect, whatever their name and reputation to them. That's what I think a life coach is. And this is for both. If you want to become a life coach and to share my system that I share with people, this is what I do to help people find what they're looking for, or if you want to just learn what you need to do, what it is that you really want to do that's going to bring you your greatest success. You know, there's a difference between a career and a job. A job is you get paid to go somewhere by somebody who is running some kind of a business and needs somebody to do some work that either they can't or they don't want to do. You know, you own a restaurant, you don't want to wash the dishes, you don't want to bust the tables. You want to either be the cook or you want to go around and blah, 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 or be the chef or whatever. So you hire somebody. You hire somebody who has two hands and can wash dishes. It's not really a career. And that's what most jobs are. You're just getting paid to do something that the business owner can't or doesn't want to do. Now, a lot of people are happy just having jobs. I don't understand that, but that's me. You want, if what makes you happy is just going to work every day and making a paycheck, and great. I have nothing against that. More power to you. But if you're somebody who struggles because you don't like working for other people, if you're like me, and you go and try and work a job, doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I feel trapped. I can't stand it. You know, I was an actor for years in Hollywood, and so I had all kinds of odd jobs. So I had to have a free schedule, and I did. I worked as a waiter. I worked as a busboy. I worked as a fire extinguisher recharger, the guy who runs around and recharges your fire extinguishers, and deliveries, typesetter. Sometimes I had two jobs going at the same time because I was running a theater company, and as I was auditioning for movies and television, and I was directing plays, and I was just crazy. So I know what it's like to have a job, and I hated all of them. I hated them. There wasn't one job that I didn't hate doing. I was really good at sales, and so I had sales jobs, where you sat behind a desk and you called people on the phone, and I was good at that. I was always, for some reason, I never got to number one, but I would always hit number two. I was a number two salesman, and I wasn't even trying. I was just showing up, and because I'm good with gab and all that. But I hated it, and I would drive home. I can remember driving home right down over here, from driving back to, this area from Santa Monica, and I would drive along the coast, and I would go past the surfing beach, and as the sun was going down, in the summertime, which is like, 8, 9 o'clock, the sun is going down, and people are out there, and it's beautiful, and there are people surfing, and I go, man, those people live today. Those people, their life had meaning, and mine was wasted. All the money I made meant nothing. I had a headache. I hated myself. I hated having to sell garbage to people that they didn't need. So that's a job for me, and I can't live like that. So I have to have a career. So my definition of a career is getting paid to do something I would do anyway. Because if you're going to do it anyway, then it's not a job. And then what ends up happening is you have this experience of, like right now, what I'm doing, I would do this anyway. This is something I've been thinking about doing, this video series. I have some time. I wanted to have some fun. Let's have some fun. I want to do this video. So this is something that I would do anyway. And what people tend to do is they feel guilty about their hobbies, their passion, what they enjoy doing. Because we've been taught that you have to, in order to be a functional citizen, you have to go out and work a job, which means doing something you don't like, grinding away. You can't get paid unless you grind away at something you don't like. To get paid to do something that you do like, oh man, we don't have a space in our head for that. So what ends up happening is that people have these passions and these hobbies, and they already have made the decision that that is something that they need to spend money on. When I ask people what it is that they want to do, a lot of people say, I love to travel. And then they'll go into, yeah, but I don't have the money to do that. And I said, well, why not turn that into money? Huh? Because here's the thing. Whatever it is that you would do, if it's fun for you, in other words, if you would take your hard-earned money that you grinded away at some job to get, and you squirrel away your money to go spend it on this thing that makes you happy, guess what? There are millions of other people who would also spend money to do that same thing, and they'd be willing to pay you to help them. The real question is finding out what it is that makes you happy. Here's the other big problem. When you ask people what it is that they like, a lot of people don't know. So this is where you come in. If you want to be a career counselor, a career life coach, then you have to come in and help them find out what it is that they truly like. I have come up with a way that works for me. So as in anything, I never teach anything that hasn't worked for me. I'm only interested in teaching what I've discovered through my own personal experience. The reason why this is important to me is because, like you, for years and years and years, I did not know how to be successful. I had all of these passions. I did all kinds of, all the stuff that I teach now, I've been doing my whole life, but I did it as a hobby. And then I had to go work a job in order to do that. And I found out that there is a way to bring financial success just being yourself, which means that you have something of value to offer. So what we're going to do in this series is I am going to, number one, teach you how to find within yourself what it is that gives you the greatest power and the greatest joy, which will bring you your success. So let's just lay out an assumption. Remember, if you follow my teachings, you must know what your assumptions are. Your assumptions create your universe, because your assumptions are your base beliefs about everything. So you may be carrying around some incorrect assumptions, base beliefs about what it is to have a career, what a career is, how to make money, what you need to do. I explained earlier, for some people, they think that in order to make money, you have to work some job you can't stand, and the stuff you like to do, you have to spend money on. That's an assumption. And unless you change that assumption, that's how you're going to live your life. So we're going to change your assumption right here and right now. I want you to meditate on this and make this the base assumption for everything that we're going to talk about. And you always come back to this. So the base assumption is, first and foremost, you have within you a divine program which has programmed within you your career. Everybody has their own. The rule is it has to be something you really enjoy doing, you're really passionate about. It may be something that's hard work, and some people enjoy work. I mean, I just got back from surfing, and the waves were big, and it was a lot of work. I worked really hard, but I loved doing it. You asked me to go work that hard doing something else, forget it. But doing something I love doing, heck yeah, I feel proud that I worked so hard to go out there and surf those big waves. So it's not about not having to work hard. If you like to work hard for what you do, great. But it won't feel like work. And that's because you've been programmed with your career. There's a career within you that you programmed that when you begin to do it, it will take off on its own. It will push you and it will have its own steam. And the second part of that assumption is that the world wants what you have to give. That is an assumption. If you don't believe that the world wants what you have to give, it won't matter. I know because I did this for years. You know, I think I'm pretty smart. I think I have a lot of talents. I think I have a lot of wisdom to give. And this has been true my whole life. I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that what I had was something that the world wanted. I thought, oh, I'm into too much weird stuff. Nobody's going to understand me. My thing is, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I carried that around. And so I had this attitude about it. And of course, when I would talk about it, I would talk about it with kind of an attitude like, you don't really understand. And people would be like, what the hell is your problem? But when I began to believe, and it took a long time and I had a lot of resistance, but when I began to believe that, you know, what I have to offer the world is valuable. And the world needs and wants what I have to share. Once I started with that assumption, then I started seeing a lot more success. So you may have a faulty assumption about what it is within you. First off, you may not know, and that's okay. You may not know what it is that you are supposed to bring to the world. That's all right. Start with the assumption that, number one, you have been programmed with your own career deep inside of your soul. And that, number two, the world needs and wants what you have. Number three, the third assumption is that people will pay you good money for what you have to offer. That is your home base. That is, you have to come back to this every single time. Whether you're talking about yourself or whether you're working with somebody. Because when you work with somebody who's struggling to find their career, what you're going to find is that they are resisting their own success. So here's another assumption that I want you to adopt. And that assumption is that people are more afraid of success than failure. Why is that? Because failure means that you don't change. You stay exactly as you are. You may be miserable. You may complain about it. You know, I mean, there are people, you know, I know a person, somebody very close to me that I've known for a very long time, who, I don't know if he's homeless now, but he's been homeless for a while. And you give him the tools. I mean, I'm being honest here. If you hand him the tools, that all he has to do is go A, B, C, D, F, and G, and he has a free place to live, and he has this, and he has that, and he can start putting his life back together, he will reject it for living on the street. And then he'll turn around and complain about how he has to panhandle for money to live. That's an extreme example of people are more afraid of success than failure. Because people understand failure. You don't have to grow as a person. You don't have to evolve. You don't have to become somebody else, because when you become successful, you're going to die to the person you are now. If you don't think you're successful now, in order to become successful, you have to die to whoever it is you think you are. And that's scary. You don't know what it's like to be successful. You think, oh, if I had all the money and if I had all this, but when you get there, it's a whole different deal. And what happens is as you start getting towards that, if you've got a lot of resistance for whatever psychological reasons, then you're going to start to sabotage yourself so you stay right where you are because you understand it. It's familiar. So let's accept that as well. If you're having problems with success, it's because you're afraid of it. And don't feel bad about it. I know it. Listen, it takes one to know it. I don't teach anything that I myself haven't gone through. I know because I've been there. And it's easy for me because I'm now on the other side, and I can look back and I go, yep, I can see myself in that. So that's another assumption, that success is more frightening than failure. And so we have to be willing to accept the very frightening idea that, you mean what I have inside of me is what the world wants, and the world will pay me good money for what's inside of me? Really? You have to accept that. Because if you can't, then it won't matter. People who win the lottery, virtually every person who has won the lottery, according to what I've read, I could be wrong, but according to what I've read, virtually every person like that is butt broke poor and then wins millions of dollars, they end up butt broke poor and in debt years later. They can't hang on to the money. They don't know how to be successful and prosperous. So it's not about the money. It's about you. Okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about. This is just an introduction. So if you want to learn more about this, you can go to career.thunderwizard.com. I want you to first find your career and go make that happen. And then second, if you want to become a life coach, a career life coach, you are more than welcome to take this course that I'm going to be offering and study it and learn it, and then go and create your own life coaching business. That if you're able to follow my instructions and follow the course that I'm going to be giving to you, that you should be able to find your career that will bring you joy, prosperity, financial success, self-respect, and all around success in your life. All right, see you there.